6月13日是吴弭市长邻里咖啡时间的第12期，这一次他关注的社区是 Roxbury， 活动于当日上午在 Horatio Harris Park 举行。对于居民来讲，邻里咖啡时间系列活动是一次很好的机会，可以和市长或城市及社区的工作人员面对面交流，提出改善社区和开放空间的建议。在开场发言中，吴市长提到，市政府正在步入财政预算规划的下一阶段，并强调了财政预算为城市未来发展打基础，为居民建言献策创机会，为政府日常运营定细则的3大目标。
We're working today to finish up and try to take that next step in the budget process. So there's a lot happening. The goal of our budget is, 1, to set a foundation for the future, really focus on what we need to be a healthy, supported, equitable city for the next generation. 2, to connect our communities, close gaps, make sure people can get to where they need to go, and also just create the opportunities for civic engagement and participation that really center residents' voices. And then 3, in some ways, last but also just as important, really delivering on the details of city government.
Malcolm X Park 是 Roxbury 社区一座历史悠久、功能齐全的公园，深受居民青睐。为给社区残疾人休闲娱乐提供更便利的物质环境，波士顿公园与游憩部正在推进 Malcolm X Park 无障碍的改造设计工作。但由于其涉及到轻砍公园内的部分树木，这一项目引发了不少居民的不满和担忧。Bill Singleton 是 Roxbury 的居民，他表达了居民们希望公园改造能够顾及保护树木和增强可及性间的平衡。
Well, right now we're dealing with an issue over at Malcolm X Park with the trees. Apparently there was a contract made before she got in, and we're just hoping that they don't disturb those trees, which have been around for, since before we were born. So we're just hoping that there's a way that they can come to terms with becoming ADA compliant and making sure that the trees stay, and making sure that people get what they need there.
同时，居民 Joseph Pfister 也表示，出于环境和健康考虑，部分居民对改造计划中给公园田径场更换人造草坪的方案持反对态度。
We have a lot of open space and we're trying to maintain it. That's the reason why we want to make sure that we don't have a situation where we have artificial turf is brought here, that the removal of trees, because as you can see, as we sit here now in Horatio Harris Park, we got a great tree cover. We don't want the trees removed. So we think open space is good, both not only for climate, but for health reasons as well.
市议员 Tanya Fernandez Anderson 关注到了居民们对于改造 Malcolm X Park 的顾虑，并表明他会履行好自己的职责，当好市政厅和民众的纽带，让居民们的声音都能被听见。
I think the community feels that they have not been properly included or heard. So even in the community meetings that has taken place, a lot of people feel that they are saying or they're protesting their position, the position of the city, and they're still not being heard. So I think the follow-up is to a point where the city has made a decision to proceed with Malcolm X Park with the repairs, in spite of the opposition in the community. And so my job as a district councilor obviously is consolidating community and city hall and making sure that I'm representing all people. So I've had conversations with parks, and we've held a hearing through the environment committee and discussing both sides and the point of views, and yet they still proceeded with the decision. I was not informed of that decision or the time that it was going to proceed. And I think that, the community deserves honesty and transparency. So at every point, whenever I speak with whether the community or the city, I'm prepared to say, this is where we are, this is what's taken place so far. And hopefully, hopefully I'm able to assist in making sure that the community is heard.
Michael Thomas 是一名园艺种植者，他对波士顿的绿地保护工作表示认可，同时指出，除减少砍伐外，呵护树木健康也非常重要。
The preservation of the green space, the canopy here of the city, it's just one of the gems of the city, and a lot of the neighbors around here you find are very beautiful trees. They need care as well. And it is going to require a conscientious, city agency to be able to have that expertise to know how to care for these trees. If you look in this park has been here for a long time, but if you notice, a lot of the limbs on the trees are dead. Okay, it's compromising the health of the canopy of the tree and thus the quality of the neighborhood.
今年3月，一名就读于 Roxbury Dearborn STEM Academy 的学生持枪入校。居民 Benjamin Patrick 对社区的枪支暴力和公共安全问题很是关心，并建议家长上交枪支，从而杜绝学生持枪入校的隐患。
Some of the communities that don't really say too much about violence, but we don't have a lot of violence, a lot of shooting that obviously we're just so compelled over some of these gun laws they got, but eventually we're going to get better with that too, you know. I think they should go back to the program they have that when you turn in a weapon, it helps out a lot because some of the parents and people have a lot of weapons in their home that they don't know and their kids bring them in. If you have a place that they can bring them back to like they had before, that's a big impact in the community too, you know, so it works.
根据 Aristat 的最新数据，马萨诸塞州黑人被枪杀概率比白人高出 3.6 倍，黑人儿童和青少年被枪杀概率比白人儿童和青少年高出7倍。波士顿社区发展部2010年公布的人口统计数据显示， Roxbury 社区的黑人或非裔美国人占比为 55.6%。 对此，州议员 China Taylor 表示，州议会付出了很多努力来支持保护黑人权益。他认为，枪支暴力实则是社会经济问题的缩影。
There has been a lot of work being done on supporting Black males, particularly in the State House. We were the first to pass a commission on Black men and boys, and we look forward to uplifting that and supporting it through and figuring out what we can do to make sure that there's more access to opportunity for Black males, so that way they don't get themselves into a line of fire. And what I would say about gun violence is not a choice that folks make. It's a social economic issue where it's the only option left when you're kind of squeezed so tight by things like your rent being unaffordable, no parking and things like that.